the previous video, we talked about how the culture of a team, how people interact, raise concerns, and work together, basically the way we do things, affects the quality and quantity of the work, as well as how appealing the team is for other people to join and then to stay a part of. We looked at some examples of the kinds of behaviors that lead people to feeling included, supported, valued, and trusted. And we learned that these ideas are often talked about as team psychological safety. Now we're going to talk about how you can take a look at your own team to better understand how psychological safety is working there. Let's start by considering how one of the teams in the previous video assessed their psychological safety and made changes as a result before the scenario in that video began. We saw that Steve's team enjoys a healthy level of psychological safety. Steve was assigned a task that called for one of his strengths, design skills, but that would also require an attention to detail that he finds challenging due to his ADHD. Steve felt comfortable pointing out his concern, and a coworker offered to share the responsibility with him. But it wasn't always this way. Steve's team has purposefully increased their psychological safety in response to recurring problems. In the past, they'd experienced more mistakes, accidents, waste, conflict, and turnover. When a perspective shared by a departing employee in their exit interview matched a perspective shared in a formal complaint, leadership took notice and began to connect the dots. In both cases, the perspective shared included concerns about how people were treated when they were perceived as being different from a majority in the group. Teasing about difference was common, as was exclusion and gossip. And in particular, people's accommodations and supports were often considered a free pass. To understand more about what was happening, the team got external support to conduct a confidential assessment of their culture. Everyone completed a questionnaire about interactions, some follow-up interviews were conducted, and information about how results would be used was clear and honest. Of course, knowing what causes a problem doesn't automatically prevent it happening again. Steve's team had to think about their work together in different ways to uncover all the factors underlying the problems. They looked at the operational areas like accommodation policies, and they looked at more informal things like gossip and how people work together. They ended up making a variety of changes, some small, some large. Leadership organized a training to challenge bias and build the understanding that accommodations help everyone. Members of the team learned to notice teasing and signs of exclusion and started interrupting these tendencies. Performance assessments were modified to encourage collaboration rather than competition. It didn't happen overnight, but by any measure, the team's results today are stronger and more consistent. Much less time and money goes to rework, restaffing, and conflict resolution. So, are you ready for a tune-up of your team's psychological safety? Here are some places to start. Make sure you have leadership buy-in for culture change and a plan to support everyone to come along. Find ways to safely assess what isn't working. Make it arm's length, confidential, and transparent. Encourage everyone to intervene when they notice ridicule, blame, gossip, or exclusion, and support healthy disagreement. And finally, have patience. It can take some time and some of it might feel uncomfortable, but it's important to do and the results are well worth it. In recent years, teams around the world in every sector have discovered the power of psychological safety. The quality of their work has improved and their enjoyment of it is greater. We hope this pair of videos has helped your team's ability to notice and think about its own psychological safety, and to take steps to ensure it's in the best shape possible.